Hey, how's it going? Good to see you guys. Brian here. And if you could do me a favor, let me know in the comments if you can hear me all right. If you could just type yes, that would be awesome. I would super appreciate it. And today, I just want to talk about a few key numbers that I highly recommend you start tracking. It's something we track in our business. It's something all of our clients track. And there's others that we track. I'm very much a believer that we are all in the same business. It doesn't matter what you sell. It doesn't matter if you sell coffee mugs. Doesn't matter if you sell computers, microphones, if you're a local brick and mortar, whatever you sell, we are all in the same business. We're in the arithmetic business. And there's a few numbers that if we can just get dialed in, it's going to allow us to scale. And there's a hidden benefit to knowing these numbers. It's not just, okay, we know what we have to spend and what we can advertise. It's the confidence it gives you. There's a lot of confidence in going out into the marketplace. I'll give you a quick example. I'm partnered in a brand and it's in the beauty space, and we are running a promotion right now for an education product. So even though it's a physical product, we have an education product as well. And this is a firm part of my strategy, and I talk about this a lot, is combining info and physical because they both have their own unique benefits and they work very well together. But in any case, we are acquiring customers at a profit right now, which is unheard of. I mean, it really is difficult to do. However, even as that number will start to climb. There will come to a point where that offer will not self-liquidate anymore, okay? It's going to start costing us more to acquire a customer, and I'm okay with that because I know my numbers, because I understand the lifetime value of that customer, because I understand because we've maximized our average order value, because we know all these things, it gives me a lot of confidence because I know the profit as well, not just like how much money they're worth in the long run, but the profit of that over the next 60 and 90 days. It gives me a lot of confidence to go out and outspend my competition, to go out and spend more to acquire customers. Forget about competition, just going out there and spending, period, because ad costs are rising, there's no question. So the whole point is, the hidden benefit of understanding your numbers isn't just the ability to scale and to grow, but it's to actually have a confidence that others will sort of realize, like, they'll think to themselves, man, how are you able to go do that? How are you able to go out and spend when, if you just look at the numbers, man, that kind of doesn't make sense, but it's because in your back pocket, you know what's going on. So let's talk about the critical numbers. Again, these aren't all the numbers to track, but I do want to give you a good baseline, somewhere to start, and this is where all of our clients, all of our students, and really where we start with any business, we start tracking this. Before we get started, and before I forget, if you'd like a 10-day trial, free 10-day trial to our community called The Underground, it's where you'll get our e-commerce seller community and tons of training. You can go check out all the information at 10daytrial.com. So you can go to 10-day trial, as in free 10-day trial. So 10daytrial.com and get all the info there and get started if you'd like to check it out. You get 10 days, test drive it, see if it's for you, and we'd love to have you stay beyond that, of course. All right, so let's talk about the numbers that you should be tracking, and I want to share an example of how to do it. You can obviously do it in any way you'd like, but here's what I would recommend. So here, let me just go ahead and list out the numbers. So I would recommend, is something again that we do and our clients do, is recommend you track revenue, you track the profit on that revenue, you track new leads, and you got to just pick one channel, right? I mean, there's a lot of different ways to track leads. It could be emails, phone numbers, addresses, messenger, followers on your page. I recommend you just pick one as just sort of a benchmark. I mean, there's others, and if you want to track the others, you can, but I recommend you pick something like email. How many new emails did you get? And I'm going to talk about why it's important to just track something, even if you're not tracking all of it, in a second. So revenue, profit, new leads, I would recommend you just track email, average order value, every order, and your cost per acquisition, okay? There's two others that are a little bit harder to define and to track, but ultimately you do want to be aware of them, is frequency of purchase and lifetime value, but I'm not going to talk about those as much because they require a little bit more data, and software is probably the best way to do it, and I'm not going to kind of dive into that right now. And the first 5 are things you can start doing today. So revenue, profit, number of new leads, I recommend emails, average order value, and CPA. Cost per acquisition, how much did it cost you to acquire the customer? And these are all really simple stats to track, right? Your revenue, You just see it. You're like, all right, this is how much we made every day. And this is usually a number most people know, right? They made 500 in sales. They know they made 10,000 in sales, whatever it is. However, what I find is most clients that first come to us, they don't know how much profit there is. They have an idea how much profit there is, but they actually don't know the number. And this alone, with this and new leads, because leads was another one that I never tracked. And one of my early mentors, he told me, he just sat me down. We were having a Zoom call, and he goes, "How many new leads did you get yesterday?" And before I could answer, I was just thinking, I was like, he goes, "Exactly." Like, he just cut me off. He said, "Exactly." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You don't know." And one of his early mentors told him, "You don't know because you're not tracking it." And simply having awareness about the number, about the thing you're trying to maximize, will start to make it grow. Early on, and this is pretty cool because I recommend this to everyone, is to put up a board on the wall. So early on, we did this with our first e-commerce brand. It was an outdoor brand, and we were really struggling to get traction. We made some initial sales, but we were just, everyone else is talking about they're doing all these thousands of dollars in sales every day and all this other stuff, and we're like, we're barely able to, make $5,000 a month in sales. We're trying to get this thing to get traction. And I had gotten this tip from someone. I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. So I made on the wall, I put up a board and I divided it out into days, weeks, and then at the bottom it was grouped into months. So 12 months for the year. I think I had spots for 5 weeks per month because some weeks, some months have that extra few days, and 7 days a week. And every day, all I wrote down, I didn't even track profit. All I wrote down was how much did we do in sales that day. Now, this is something I was already looking at, which is pretty interesting. I was already looking at it on my phone, right? Updating the app. But I started writing it and I could see it. And I could see like, all right, that's how much we made in sales. That's how much we made in sales. And simply being aware of that number, I started to see that number go up. And then we'd total it for the month. And literally it was every month, it was going up higher and higher and higher. This wasn't like a seasonal product that like, oh, okay, it just happened to be because it was summertime. It literally was starting to go up every month. And sure, I was taking action. It wasn't some magic law of attraction. I was just attracting more money or more sales. Absolutely, we were taking actions, but we were taking actions towards a critical number, a number that we wanted to maximize. And that alone, again, just awareness, like wherever your attention goes, like energy goes there. And that's what starts to grow. So I highly recommend it. It's something that's worked really well for others. It definitely, I can tell you it did amazing things for our business to get us off the ground and really get us traction initially. And it's something that I guess I still do, but not quite as visually, which just even talking about it now, I'm kind of thinking like, what am I doing? We got to put this back up on the wall because it was really powerful. So the revenue, the profit as well. So tracking profit would be another thing that I would recommend you do, because profitability is like, that's how you scale, right? That's really the number that you want to maximize. You can maximize revenue, but if you can make that profit number go up, and that's why I'm such a huge proponent of adding information, because the margins are higher, but it still delivers immense value. In some cases, it can even feel more valuable to the customer than the physical product because it helps them on this transformation, this, losing weight or becoming better at guitar or whatever it is that they want. They've got the product, but now the information can get them there faster and get them to their destination. Leads is easy, right? That's another thing you can easily track. And just so you know, the way that we actually do it now is on a spreadsheet. This is something we give to all of our clients, but you can very easily build this on your own. And again, if you would like more information on this and more specific training on how to do this, you could check out our community, The Underground. You can go to 10daytrial.com and you can get a free trial there. So it's 10daytrial.com. And so leads is easy, right? And then the two others are AOV and CPA, cost per acquisition. Very easy. AOV, what was the average order value? So I can tell you that when we've focused on this, we've seen this dramatically increase. Literally, I've talked about this before, is like a 35% increase in our average order value by just focusing on increasing it. Again, where our attention goes, like that's where we start focusing and working on getting that to go up, because we're just aware of it. We're more conscious of it. Average order value, the obvious benefit is the more that people are spending per transaction, the more profit there is, and the more just bottom line, just revenue, right, and profit, so we can go out and acquire more customers. If on average someone only spends $10 with company A and average spends $20 with company B, who's going to have a better success at going and acquiring more customers, right? Obviously, whoever's spending the $20 with company B, assuming that there's more profit. But it is typically going to be linear, if not even more profit, because the stuff that we're going to introduce in the average order value on the what we call on the back end is actually going to be more profitable. So not only will the AOV be higher, but the profit is higher. If you have any questions about this, let me know in the comments, and I'll circle back and answer any questions you guys have. And the other is CPA. On average, the cost per acquisition, how much is it costing us to acquire a new buyer? This is a critical number because you need to know, all right, this is what it's costing us, so then you can start comparing to your profitability and then your long-term value of that customer. Because like I shared in the first example, our CPAs will start to go up. Right now, it is a self-liquidating offer. We're actually profitable. We're actually getting paid right now to acquire new customers. It's free money. It's an ATM. But I know that's going to go up. It always does. But if I know that our LTV can support it, then I can keep spending. And I might, we could get to the point where we spend 3 times what they're paying us initially. If they're only paying us 20 up front, I might be willing to pay 60 to acquire them if I know they're worth 100, right? And when I say worth, I'm not saying like intrinsically they're worth, but just from a financial perspective. If I know that value like long-term is 100, right? Because I know that there's still $40 there left. So, and we bring new buyers into our sphere of influence, they come into our community, and then there's other products in addition to just that basic thing that we're selling. So the whole point is, if all you take away from all of this, honestly, is just putting up a thing on your wall where you can start tracking revenue and profit in your business on a day-to-day basis, on a weekly basis, and on a monthly basis, I assure you that alone will start to give you a different perspective and start to put your focus and awareness every day on what that is. And I don't care if it's $5. Well, then you know what? Let's start doing things to make it go to 10. And let's start doing things to make it go to 15. And then to 17. And then to 25. Like whatever we got to do, we'll know what our target is. And most of this game of business is just most people aren't aware of what the target is. They're running around answering emails and doing just random stuff, but not tracking the bottom line, not tracking the needle, and making sure that they're doing things to move that needle. So again, if you would like more information on this, more in-depth training and more actual training, like coursework, full-on courses that show you how to grow your business, show you how to drive sales in your e-commerce business, and just an amazing community, you can go to 10daytrial.com. So you can get a free 10-day trial of our community called The Underground, which is an amazing e-commerce seller community, and tons of training there. So you can go check that out. Otherwise, go start tracking your revenue, start tracking your profit, and watch it grow. And I'll check you guys out in the next video. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll circle back and try to answer your questions for you. All right, appreciate you guys. Talk soon.